Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to do another review of a prop firm, but this time I'm having a look at the prop firm Funding Traders. I'll cover everything that you need to know before buying a challenge. We'll cover all the rules you need to know, different accounts and prices, what platforms and instruments they support, and their payout process. At the end of the video, I'll also cover their trading conditions, so what can you expect in terms of spread and commission and what brokers they use. I'll go into everything in more detail throughout the video, but here is a quick summary of pros and cons. So in terms of pros, what I really like about Funding Traders is they have fast payouts, so they allow payouts every 7 and 14 days. They also refund the challenge fee on the first payout, which is great. There's 0 commissions on a challenge account. You can also purchase an add-on and get up to 90% or 100% profit split. And they also allow most trading platforms. So for example, MT5, TradeLocker, CTrader, and DXTrade. So the 3 biggest cons for me about Funding Traders is that they are a relatively new firm. So they've only been around for about 1 year. They also have a 2% max loss per trade, and there's a consistency rule. Just a disclaimer, I'm not paid or sponsored by Funding Traders. I don't make any affiliates from this video, so I'll try to be as objective as I can in this review. This is just my opinion as a trader. To help you guys out, I've also added timestamps in this video. So, Funding Traders is a CFD prop firm. So they started in early 2023. As I mentioned before, they've only really been around for about a year, so they're relatively new to the scene. I'm always pretty wary of prop firms that may not have a longer track record, and even if they have great discounts and promotions, I wonder if they'll last in the long run. I recently did a video about funded engineer shutting down, so it is not uncommon for this to happen and you do need to be careful. So they're based in the UAE, and I do like the fact that they're based outside of the US. So I think there's a number of prop firms that are based in the UAE, so Aqua Funded, Blue Guardian, Funded Next, and a bunch of others. The Trustpilot looks pretty reasonable, so they have over 1,300 reviews with 4.5 stars. I said this in a few times in my other videos, I'm always quite cautious with Trustpilot reviews. I've seen prop firms with fake reviews. They can pay for positive reviews, and even with the negative reviews, they can remove them pretty easily. So I'd always be cautious with reading Trustpilot. I also did a recent video where I was scammed by the Funded Trader and how I lost 2 100k accounts with them. So yeah, you do have to be pretty cautious when you trade with prop firms, but from my experience, they do pay out their traders, but there's a few strict rules that you need to be really careful of, and I'll cover all of them later in this video. So the process to get funded is pretty similar to other CFD prop firms. First, you must pass the challenge phase. Once you succeed, you will receive a funded account. After you earn profits, you can then request a payout. In terms of accounts, they have 5 accounts ranging from 10k, 25k, 50k, 100k, 200k. It's good that they have different types of accounts and sizes for different traders, whether you're looking for cheaper challenges or you're trying to scale up really quickly. In terms of targets, it's very similar to FTMO. So you have a profit target of 10% in phase 1 and 5% in phase 2. There's a daily drawdown of 5% and a max overall drawdown of 10%. The good thing is that there is a static drawdown for the 2-step challenges. They do have a 1-step challenge as well. This just means that instead of doing 2 phases, there's just 1. But just be careful if you do pick this. With the 1-phase challenge, they have a 4% daily loss and also a trailing loss. So trailing loss just means that the drawdown will trail you as you move into profit. I'm not a huge fan of trailing losses. I've been caught out by them before, and this is a reason why I don't really do 1-step challenges. So in my recommendation, I would probably stick to the 2-step challenge. In terms of price, it's $550 for a 100k account. This is pretty standard, as most prop firms cost around $500. I have noticed Funding Traders does have a lot of promotions, so make sure that you use that before you buy one of their challenges. The great thing about funding traders is they do refund your challenge fee with your first payout. So other prop firms like E8 Markets, MyFunded, FX, they don't offer refunds of challenge fees. So it's great that this prop firm actually refunds challenge fees. They also have an 80% profit split. You can increase this to 90% and 100%. You just have to purchase this add-on when you go through their checkout. So the max allocation for funding traders is 400,000 per customer. So you can have as many accounts as you want, but the total combined balance of these accounts cannot exceed $400,000. Funding traders does offer a pretty good scaling plan. So if you achieve 8% profit in 2 months and both consecutive months are in profit, your account will increase by 25%. So in terms of supported platforms and instruments, the good thing is they allow most trading platforms. So TradeLocker, MT5, CTrader, DXTrade. I love the fact that they use MT5. I have used TradeLocker, CTrader, and DXTrade before, but my preference is MT5 because I've always used MT5 before. So it's great that they have it. In terms of instruments that you can trade Forex, cryptocurrencies, indices, metals, and the leverage is pretty industry standard. So you have 1 to 100 for Forex, 1 to 50 leverage for indices and gold, and 1 to 5 leverage for crypto. In terms of payouts, it seems like the payouts are pretty fast and smooth, which is a nice pro about funding traders. You can request a payout every 7 or 14 days. There's a few payout methods that you can use. So they offer bank transfer via Rise. According to funding traders, this normally takes around 2 to 7 business days. If you can't use Rise, they also allow payouts via crypto, which normally takes 1 to 2 days. So in terms of trading rules, I'll cover all of the key rules that you need to know. So obviously the key one is that 10% total drawdown and 5% daily loss. So for example, on a 100K account, you can't go below $90,000, and in one trading day, you can't lose more than $5,000 or go $5,000 in drawdown. One rule that I don't really like about funding traders is they have this annoying 2% max loss per trade. So it means that for each trade that you take, you can't lose more than 2%. I think funding traders is actually the only Forex prop firm that has a max loss per trade rule. So yeah, it's not great. Another important one is that they do have a consistency rule. So they have this rule to avoid gambling behavior. Your lot sizes must be consistent for all trades. They don't want to see sudden increase in position sizes or equity curves. So for example, let's say you always trade 5 lots in your trading plan, and then suddenly you take a 40 lot trade, that will probably flag your account. I recommend reading this article on their website. It explains this rule in more detail. Some good things about funding traders is that you can trade over the news, you can hold positions overnight and over the weekends. There's unlimited trading days, which is a common standard across most CFD prop firms. There's no mandatory stop loss required. You can also copy trade, but you just need to make sure you're copying your own trades and not someone else's. There's also an inactivity rule when you get funded. So every 30 days, you need to take 1 trade. Otherwise, the account will actually be terminated and you won't be able to get a refund or receive any payouts. So this inactivity rule is pretty standard with most Forex prop firms. I believe Funding Pips has this rule as well. I did do a review on Funding Pips, so click on screen if you want to check that out. There's also a few prohibited trading strategies. So there's no high frequency trading, there's no tick scalping or spread scalping, no martingale, no arbitrage trading, and no hedging. Another really important rule that I found that you need to be careful of is that if your trade is in a drawdown, you can only add 1 more entry to the losing trade. You're allowed to use EAs, but there's a few things that you need to be careful of. Off-the-shelf EAs are not allowed unless it's a risk management tool. What this basically means is that if you've bought an EA from an online website or MQL5, you're not allowed to use this, probably because other people are going to be using the same EA and they want you to trade your own unique strategy. In terms of trading conditions, so They use several different brokers depending on what platforms you use. So with MT5, they use BizTrade and Wealthway. For CTrader, they use GBE brokers. For DXTrade, it's using DXFeed price feed. So if you're using TradeLocker, apparently they work with multiple liquidity providers to offer good prices and execution, so not one single broker. In terms of commissions and spread, it's actually not too bad. On a challenge account, there's no commissions. Most other prop firms do have commissions on challenge accounts. On a funded account, the commission is $3 per round trip. From what I've seen, the spread is pretty tight. You just have to be careful, obviously, during highly volatile periods or during rollover when there's not a lot of liquidity. So in terms of customer support is okay. They do offer live chat, though it does take some time to actually get connected to an agent. There's a customer support email you can use, as well as a help center and FAQ section for more basic questions. They also have a Discord group where the funding traders team are pretty active there. This group can be quite helpful based on my experience. To wrap up, in my opinion, funding traders is definitely a prop firm worth considering. As I mentioned earlier, some great things are the fast payouts, refund of challenge fees, zero commissions on challenge accounts, and the fact that they support most trading platforms and you can actually get up to 100% profit split. The three biggest cons for me are obviously the 2% max loss per trade, the consistency rule, and also the fact that they're a relatively new prop firm, so they've only been around for about a year. So in my honest opinion, there are other prop firms around the same price that have been around for a little bit longer and a bit more well established. So for example, FTMO, 5%ers, Funded Next. I do know that 5%ers and Funded Next have a 8% take profit on phase 1, which is slightly better. They also don't have a 2% max loss per trade rule, and there's no consistency rules with those prop firms as well. Personally, I would probably consider these prop firms first over funding traders, but if you're looking to expand prop firms and diversify, I definitely would consider this. So if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are of funding traders. Also, please let me know if I've missed anything. I do try my best to do as much research before making these videos, but if there's something that has changed since posting this video or they've updated their rules and policies, let me know. Also, be sure to check out my other videos on screen for other trading related content. Thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.